Hey, what's up, comrades? So we're on to Chapter 5, Wonderland of Nikke, Goddess of Victory. And where last we left, we were ordered to head north so we could find information about the pilgrims. And once we can find the information about the pilgrims, hopefully we can find the pilgrim that saved us and she can help us find and capture Chatterbox. Not just for Sayun, but for the Ark, and so that we can get more information on the corruption of Marion. So we're in the north. Shifty's trying to reach out to us, but Ainz and Neon are too busy having a snowball fight. and antics ensue. Finally, Rappy answers, and she informs us that the alpha particles are very low here, but ice is going to be a problem. And when we inquire why, Rappy mentions that Nikkes are very heavy, as they're essentially they're androids, right? They're all made of metal and heavy shit and materials and gun and bullets and all that stuff. And then Shifty's like aghast and mentions that no girl should ever have to say such a thing, like that they're heavy. And I'm like, this is peak Korean writing. I love every second of it. Like, this is exactly, you can tell women wrote these characters, not some guy pretending to be a woman. So then we're ready to hear the transmission when Rappy gets hit by a snowball in the face from Ainz. Ainz and Neon are absolutely delighted, and Rappy is like, God damn it, I hate you guys so much. Anyway, time to go. The girls are loving the snow, as are we. We're having a good time. We get into a discussion about reclaiming the surface, that humans can enjoy the snow again and the weather and the coolness of the air and all this stuff. And then Shifty comes again and starts a conversation about our exoskeleton that we're using. She mentions that it was originally made for Nikkes, but it started to become easier to just create new body parts. So if a leg gets blown off, instead of trying to fix it, or if a leg gets injured, instead of trying to fix it and have them walk the exoskeleton to like naturally heal itself and yada yada, it's easier just to like replace the fucking leg, right? And then all the girls kind of get quiet because they're like, here are two humans. I'm pretty sure Shifty's supposed to be a human, just chit chatting about Nikkes and like replacing their body parts and stuff. And then Shifty like, oh shoot, sorry, I forget. I apologize, everybody, please. I'm so sorry. And then Rappy says, no, it's fine, it's okay. We know what we are. And then Rappy or Ainz, I can't remember which one, I didn't put it in my notes, mentions that it's just good to know there's abundance of supplies so that we don't have to worry about getting destroyed or anything. At that point, the snowstorm starts to really pick up, and we're getting really, really cold. Shifty instructs us that we need to get to a shelter. Ainz is still super concerned for us and orders Neon to get naked and warm us up. And then they go back and forth, and eventually like, no, we're good. Let's just keep going. No one needs to get naked and warm us up. Since Shifty gave us a direction for the bunker, Rappy's like, come on, let's go, and leads us off to the bunker. Upon our arrival there, we have lost all communication with Shifty because of the storm. Ainz offers to head into the bunker and make sure it's safe, but right before she does, we spot a rapture and a fight begins. Unfortunately for us, the last rapture that we fought explodes, which causes an avalanche, and we get caught up into it. Losing consciousness, we have this like strange dream where we're in a hospital and there's a girl there, like an indeterminate girl. She keeps asking us for our name, and then at some point when we say our name's Commander or like I think Comrade, did I use my name? Anyway, she says that we're crazy, and at that point we wake up and we find that we've been rescued by Alice and Ludmilla, and we'll talk about them in the next week's video with the event and the Bond stories. But Alice keeps referring to Ludmilla as Queen. They pick me up and they carry me off. And then when we're safe, Ludmilla tells us that we serve her now and that she is the queen, which is a higher rank than commander. It's like, okay, fair enough, we agree. We discuss what the issue is they're having. And their issue is that there's apparently some sort of evil queen of hearts that has created all this snow and that this land used to be lush and green. Ludmilla summoned us, quote unquote, to serve her and to defeat the evil queen. We discussed the counters as well and how we came here with the other Nikkes and that we gotta find them. And then we set off to do just that. At some point, Alice asks if Ludmilla if we're the Rabbity. And we're like, what's the Rabbity? And the Rabbity apparently is an entity from another world that will help defeat the evil queen. Ludmilla encourages Alice to ask us for the Rabbity. And we're like, yes, we are. And then we also discuss how the exoskeleton we have is a legendary weapon. And then they both get like super excited about it, even though Ludmilla knows it's all total bullshit. Anyway, so we travel and we get to a bunker, and there we head inside and rest. As we're getting settled, Ludmilla tells Alice to guard the bunker so that she can talk to us. And once Alice is gone, Ludmilla is like, she's like, and end scene. All right, so we're let me introduce you to us. for real this time. She states that they are pathfinders, and their whole mission as a squad is to rescue Nikkes and return them back to the Ark. They're known as Unlimited. We talk about how we got sent here to find the research base and to learn about pilgrims, again, so that we can go and fight Chatterbox. She tells us straight up that the research base is a no-go, and we're very insistent, so she mentions, like, listen, the Raptures have taken over it, and they've changed it. And we insist that we need to go see it. We have to take care of this, and we have to find out what happened to Marion. And we talk about our friendship and how Marion is a friend, and how we're friends with Nikkes, and how friendship with Nikkes can and can't exist. Commanders, and that most commanders just see, it's the whole line of reasoning. But we continue to be insistent. And then she mentions that we're very unusual, but for some reason she believes us. She says that she will help out, and we'll head out to find the counters. So we do. At some point, Alice and Ludmilla spot Neon and Ainz. Neon is just firing her gun into the air and shouting for us, and Ludmilla mentions that they're an interesting crew. Alice points out that there's raptures being drawn here, and so a fight begins. Afterward, Ainz and Neon are super happy that we're alive, and then Ainz mentions that Rappy is dead, and then Rappy's just standing right there. Poor Rappy. After reuniting, Ludmilla mentions that we need to go out. We need to get out of here because all this noise is loaded raptures. And Neon asks, like, what do you mean? What noise? What noise is coming from? And Rappy and Ainz make fun of her, and we head out. As we travel to the research station, Alice starts asking about everybody's legendary weapons, because obviously we have one. So we mentioned that our leg, the exoskeleton. Neon gets super excited and says, yes, my glasses, my eyes shoot lasers. And then Ainz mentions that she can punch real good. She has gloves that let her punch real good. And Ainz mentions that Rappy's weapon is sealed in her chest, and that only the Rapidy can open it. We're joking around, and we mentioned that we need to unbutton her top so that we can show the weapon, and then Rappy stops us by saying, if you open it, the whole area would turn to ash. Alice loves it, and she's so amazed. And Ludmilla just is laughing and laughing, having a great time hanging out with us and our crazy antics. When we get to the research station, we see that it's been converted into like a mobile fortress. Ludmilla explains that it was designed originally to be impenetrable, but that the researchers got complacent, which allowed glitches. And when the glitches went unattended, it allowed the raptors to somehow get inside and take it over from the inside. So they didn't have to assault. They were able to like be sneakypotamus. And at this point, they control it completely. We discuss how raptors hacking into the research base is odd. And then Ainz is like, well, if they can talk, they can probably hack. And then we all get, and then Rappy's like, Ainz, the fuck? And Ainz is like, oh no, just kidding, I'm joking. And Ludmilla gives us all a look and then mentions like, and she's like, well, I didn't hear anything. And then Rappy's like, thank you. She then asks us to come with her. Rappy takes us aside and mentions that she doesn't think it was the raptures, but that there was a mole, that someone wanted to get the raptures in access so that they could get information about the pilgrims. And it's like, who could it be? And then we start talking about how a similar situation occurred with the corruption of Marion, and that there's probably like a universal figure that's causing all these issues. At that point, it's time to strategize our attack. Ludmilla mentions that if we take out the joints, the whole thing should just collapse. And then Alice is like, is this the queen? And Ludmilla says, no, this is just a servant of the queen. Alice is super unafraid. She's like, that's cool, let's go do this, because we have all the legendary weapons. Ludmilla and Rappy agree, and then the fight begins. After we destroy this fortress, pretty easily actually, Neon mentions that she has reached her apex, and now she'll be a teacher. We shut that down because it's a terrible idea. And tell her, hey, just because you fought this giant thing and defeated it doesn't mean there's not bigger enemies ahead. And specifically the elevator we mentioned. The elevator, so there's multiple elevators, right? There's the elevator from the Ark to the surface, and then there's also the elevator that leads from the surface up to the Ark ship that was originally taken over. We get more into that at an event coming up probably next month. And that she's like, you're right, it's time to grind, to become stronger and to destroy everything. And then Alice is super stoked, as this is now our base of operations. We're in the fortress that we destroyed, and we're ready to go. Oh, we're not in there yet. We're going to head in there and take it over, and this will be a new base of operations. And that wraps up episode 5, Wonderland. Good story. Alice and Ludmilla are excellent characters coming in on this, and just super fun all around. And you get a lot more quirky, crazy nonsense from these characters. It's so good. All right, so go ahead, like, share, subscribe, comment, and I will catch you guys later.